What's going on, guys? Welcome into the Bulls Report. My name is Patrick Siepman. And before we dive into today's video, I am going to ask you guys if you guys could share this video on Twitter. My overall goal is to get this channel out to more and more Chicago Bulls fans. And a quick, easy way to help us out here is sharing it to Twitter. So just click the share button, select the Twitter icon, quick post to Twitter, and tag me at Pat Siepman, and you will get a shout out on the next show we do here at the Bulls Report. So help us out and share today's video on Twitter. But on today's show, we're going to be talking about two big stories here. Nikola Vucevic, there's a report that came out that pretty much confirmed that he is going to be re-signing with the Chicago Bulls. I'll be giving my thoughts on that, on if I think it could be possibly a sign-and trade and maybe a team that could be looking to trade for Vooch before the 2023 NBA draft. And then also Darren Wolfsen, a Minnesota Timberwolves beat reporter, put out a suggested trade of Zach LaVine for Karl-Anthony Towns. Yeah, I know. I'll be giving my thoughts on that and more here in a second. But guys, thank you so much. We did hit 2,000 subscribers yesterday on the video we put out discussing LaVine for Scoot Henderson. So shout out to all you guys. We really do appreciate the support here. If you guys haven't, join the family. Join the 2,000 real ones that have already hit that subscribe button. Quick, free, easy way to help us out. But this was the report that the Bulls are expected to re-sign Nikola Vucevic to a 3-year, $65 million deal. And originally when I kind of saw this, I was like, I hope this is a sign and trade. That was kind of my initial thought. But it was actually Michael Scotto. He was the one that broke it down and kind of had this report in his latest article. He said the belief among various NBA executives who spoke with HoopsHype is that Nikola Vucevic, one of the top free agents on the market, will re-sign with the Chicago Bulls. Vucevic projected free agency value, according to those executives, is 3 years in the $65 million range. And, first off, like I just said, let's hope this is a sign and trade because I actually think the Bulls could get pretty solid value in a trade for Vooch. I mean, obviously, they're not going to haul like a Rudy Gobert type of trade package where it's like 5 first-round picks, but I do think maybe the Bulls could have a potential contender say maybe Vooch is the kind of the final winning piece to kind of get us over that kind of championship hump, and maybe they could throw the Bulls a potential first-round pick. But Nikola Vucevic, overall, he is a solid center in the NBA. I know us Bulls fans give him a really, really hard time, just mainly because his defensive inefficiencies and just kind of the lack of intensity that Vooch brings to the game. But this past season, his numbers, they look good. I mean, you look at the box score every single game, he's a walking double-double. Just under 18 a game, 11 rebounds, really solid efficiency as well. He actually incorporated the 3-ball into his game this past season, shooting around 35% from the field, which is not bad for Nikola Vucevic. Obviously, you would ideally want your center in the modern day NBA to be a stretch 5, and Vooch has shown an ability to kind of incorporate into his game. But the trade idea that I cooked up here was actually the Dallas Mavericks going and acquiring Nikola Vucevic. Obviously, the Mavericks have a need for size and have a need at that center position, and they have the 10th overall pick in the draft. So maybe they could be thinking, you know what? Maybe that guy who we take at 10 won't be as much as an immediate impact as a guy like Nikola Vucevic. So they trade for him. And they also would get Alex Caruso. This sucks giving him up. I love Caruso. First team all defense. He's really a connector on the offensive side of the floor. And I think Caruso, if the Mavs were to bring back Luka and Kyrie, again, just another solid role player, a solid piece that could keep the ball moving, play solid defense, and also hit a catch-and-shoot 3 every once in a while. But my take on this trade for the Bulls, I love this trade, frankly, because this doesn't necessarily mean full rebuild for the Bulls, which I kind of think that's where they're going to land this offseason. Like, I think the Chicago Bulls are kind of heading into this offseason with the mindset of, we are a decent team, whether you agree with that or not. I mean, they're going to probably look at that record post-All-Star break and say, we could run this back and make the playoffs next season. I disagree with that. But with this trade, you are able to get younger and more athletic with that 10th overall pick because this NBA draft class, the thing I love about these prospects is, like, if you want to go get a shooter, you could go get Jordan Hawkins. If you want to go get a really solid defender, you could go get Taylor Hendricks at 10. Like, there's multiple options to kind of check a position in need or just a need in general for your team. So I like this trade because this doesn't necessarily mean the Bulls are fully rebuilding like they would be if they were to move off, let's say, a Zach LaVine, obviously. But I ask you guys, would you guys accept this trade? It's draft night. Maybe the Bulls do re-sign Vooch ahead of Thursday night's 2023 NBA draft. And this is a trade that comes across your screen. Would you accept it? Give me an A for accept or a D for decline for the Bulls getting the 10th overall pick and Tim Hardaway Jr. while sending Nikola Vucevic and Alex Caruso to Dallas. Now let's talk about it. A Cat for Zach LaVine swap. Yes, this was brought out there. I can't believe it. Just my initial thoughts would just be like, this makes no sense for the Chicago Bulls. Kind of makes some sense for the Timberwolves, but this was what Ashish Mathur had to say, works for NBA Analysis Network. And this is what he said. He said, perhaps the most eyebrow-raising option on the list, the Minnesota Timberwolves need a roster shakeup, and Karl-Anthony Towns trade rumors have swirled. Could a Zach LaVine for Karl-Anthony Towns swap work? It's not perfect, but with Rudy Gobert in the middle and Anthony Edwards on the wing, LaVine would probably be a better fit. And yeah, maybe be a better fit for the Minnesota Timberwolves, but this makes no sense for the Chicago Bulls. I think the Bulls, like I said earlier, if they are going to move off Zach LaVine, that means full rebuild. That means we are completely shopping everybody. It means DeMar's gone, try to get a first from him. I think it means Caruso, try to get a first for him. It means re-sign and sign and trade Vooch, try to get a first and maybe a piece for him. I think if the Bulls move off Zach LaVine, it's a fire sale on the roster, and pretty much everybody is on the market except for maybe a Patrick Williams or an Io DeSumo. And again, this makes no sense for the Bulls because I think LaVine is a solid player, and I think other teams kind of view him the same way. Here are some advanced shooting numbers that we've been diving into here at Chat Sports. On catch and shoot threes, LaVine this past season, 41.6%. Very solid. Kind of shows his ability to play off the ball a little bit, which I don't think most people really think about when they think about Zach LaVine's game. Pull-up threes, 34.2%. Again, very solid, but it's that less than 10-foot field goal percentage where he finds himself at 62.7%. And if you combine all three of these, LaVine finds himself 9th in the NBA. And I think LaVine's an overall great scorer. I mean, you take a look at his three-point shooting over the past 4 seasons. Hasn't dipped under 37.5%. LaVine, he is truly a flamethrower on the offensive side of the floor. I mean, I can make an argument LaVine's a top 10 bucket getter in the NBA. And I think what we've seen with Jamal Murray this past season, being that second option next to Nikola Jokic, I think other teams could look at guys like Zach LaVine, like a Bradley Beal, who we just saw go to Phoenix, and have those guys be a second scoring option next to a superstar like a Nikola Jokic or a Giannis, for example. But Zach LaVine's contract actually not as bad as you would think. We've seen the Bradley Beal numbers and we've seen the Karl-Anthony Towns numbers. In the 2026-27 season, Cat's supposed to make $62.5 million. LaVine's only at 48.9. LaVine, I think we saw Beal's trade value wasn't as high as many people thought, and if a lot of Bulls fans are kind of panicking, being like, "Oh wow, that's what they got for LaVine. For Beal? What are we going to get for LaVine?" I think LaVine is a lot more tradable, mainly because Beal had the no trade clause. He could pretty much pick where he went, and also LaVine's contract way more favorable than Bradley Beal. But my overall take with LaVine: be picky. I stand by this. I understand how badly I want to go get a pick in this upcoming year's draft, but a team will get desperate at the upcoming NBA trade deadline. Just stay kind of consistent and just don't cave into the first offer you get. Obviously, if it's going to get that 3rd overall pick, go do it. That's what I want. That is my dream scenario for the Bulls, trying to go get Scoot Henderson, whether it's a Charlotte Hornets, maybe they want to go all in, or the Portland Trailblazers at 3. Maybe they want to kind of consolidate all their assets and kind of give Dame one last chance in Portland to go win. But I think the Bulls should be picky because we see it every year in the NBA. That trade deadline comes around, a team's going to get desperate. They're going to throw you maybe 2, 3 first-round picks. And let's just say LaVine balls out the first half of the year. Maybe the Bulls don't really win too many games, but LaVine, he's averaging 26, 27. Maybe his trade value could increase a little bit. I don't know. I think the Bulls, be picky unless it's to go and get that 3rd overall pick. But I'll ask you guys, before the season starts, would you trade Zach LaVine? Give me a T for trade or give me a P for pass down in the comment section. Again, I'm in the camp. Just be picky. A team will get desperate. But guys, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Love the support on the channel as of recently. Also loved kind of hopping in the comments and chopping it up with you guys, talking about our Bulls and just talking ball in general. So hit that subscribe button. Free, easy way to help us out here at the Bulls Report. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.